Okay, great. We'll call the regular council meeting of Crossfield Council Tuesday, June 18th, 2024 to order at 7 p.m. Item 2.1, are there any additions or changes to the agenda? If there's none, can I get a motion?
Good, Chair.
Go ahead.
I will make the motion that agenda be accepted as prepared.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 3.1, June 4th, 2024, regular council meetings. Are there any changes? If there's no changes, can I get a motion?
Through the chair, I'll make the motion that minutes of the June 4th, 2024 regular council meeting be accepted as presented.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 4.1, RCMP quarterly update and 2024 priorities. The hot seat.
Thank you for the invite and the warm welcome. Everybody's wondering why I brought all my friends. So some guests, gonna be a bit of a change, and be transferred and promoted, which is good news for me and hopefully good news all around. I'm not entirely sure what the time frame on that is, but sometime in the summer I will be departing. Which is why I wanted to have my two supervisors here. Got Corporal Miko, Corporal Bodo. And in the middle is the one that we all report to, Staff Sergeant Zanadine. Mostly so that the two guys on the outside can kind of see what's going on here. I assume that there's going to be an opportunity for them to come and take part in these meetings at some point. But Staff Sergeant Zanadine would be the person in the interim that most of the communication would probably go to or come from. Staffing has already been engaged to work on filling the giant vacuum that's obviously going to be back. So not to worry, you probably won't even notice.
Where you headed?
Going to Canmore.
Nice. It's far more expensive there, so good luck.
I've noticed, that's going to be a pretty major change.
Yeah, for sure, but very nice of us, so they'll be lucky to have you.
So on to the sort of regular business, I fired off a message to Russ to bring up to everybody about what our priorities are for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Basically put them forward so that they could be reviewed and approved. The idea is to continue along the same lines as we have been for the last year. And what I put forward is much like what we've seen before. There are three priorities being crime reduction, community engagement, and enhanced road safety. In the crime reduction priority, the idea is to continue on the prolific offender management strategy, where we're using the Project Arrow tool, which was started in Airdrie, and we now use in conjunction with probation and our criminal analysts out of Airdrie to identify and then monitor subjects in town. Well, not just in town, but in all the area that we are responsible for. That, in addition to identifying hotspots and areas that we put extra attention into. The other second priority of community engagement, a lot of that is really managed by the Crossfield HATS member, which I'm sure some, if not most or all, are now aware that that person changed. We were hoping that Constable Leafluer would be gone for a short time, but it's turned out to be an indeterminate time. And our interim member, Constable Scott McQuinney, he started up in March, and from everything that I've been able to see, he's been pretty seamless, doing all the same things that Jerem was doing before, and from what I can tell, doing them just as well. Seems to be dropping right into the community just exactly the way that we want it. So he's doing those things with the school that Jerem was doing, all the school visits and presentations, meeting with the senior homes, etc. And he's getting himself involved in the community events, those sorts of things. Obviously, it all doesn't just come down to that position. The rest of our members are involved in Crossfield as well, but the lion's share definitely does come down to him, and we really rely and benefit from his interest, investment in it. And then, of course, road safety is the third one, with traffic enforcement. And again, a lot of the good that we're seeing out of the enhanced position with his involvement with your CPO Trevor, who I understand is potentially into a transition himself. Know that our guy will be able to mesh seamlessly. So that is that for the priorities. As far as what I normally do, where I have a look at the calls for service that we've had through the quarter. Obviously, I was here back in March, on March 5th, do like I always do, kind of talking a couple of months too late. So already covered a bunch of those things for this quarter back in that presentation. But again, I went through everything from the beginning of January all the way up till now. And in that time, specifically for Crossfield, we had 254 calls. 29 of the calls that were identified actually occurred outside of Crossfield on the highway or surrounding range roads, etc. For those first 3 months, the quarter that we're dealing with here, very little that was remarkable outside of a couple of vehicle thefts. There was an investigation that was led by the Southern Alberta Internet Child Exploitation Team, where a search warrant was executed back in March, and some charges were laid. Successful investigation. Moving into the next couple of months, the things that really stand out are the robbery at the pharmacy, which I think obviously from the outside looking in probably feels like it's moving too slow since there is no resolution as of yet. But right at the very beginning had some excellent leads pointing to a specific person being involved. However, that person is a person of interest at the moment. We haven't been able to hit that last link. There are a couple of things still ongoing in order to get to that point, but I really do like the way that investigation has progressed. And I can't say for sure that it will result in charges, but there's been a lot of excellent work involving all of the various support units that we have access to, including, especially at the beginning, quite an influx of members from the Airdrie detachment outside of this who use for rural. And then, of course, we're all aware of the fellow who was arrested out of the school a short time ago. That really really showed the benefit of our integration, where the situation was decided to be complex enough, important enough, and it's just required a level of expertise that the normal guy dressed like me doesn't always have. So right from the beginning, used some Airdrie detachment resources to make sure that it was done right from the start. And then, of course, they are still, after that, they're still fielding several calls. At first, it was daily, then more trickling in later on, because somebody somewhere saw the media release and wanted to add their input, or, well, sometimes just ask questions, but quite an influx of things. So we really benefited from being able to tap into that integrated music, and that can't really comment more on the file, but we did very well. As for the quarterly report itself, I think I've kind of hit the important parts. And really, unless there's something in particular from the report that you're interested in asking me questions about, if there's anything else I need to bring up.
Okay, so questions,
Through the chair.
Counselor Knight.
Just one question. What's the plan of trying to reduce suspicious vehicle property? Is there ongoing plans still working with the new Jerome?
With the new Jerome.
Yeah.
The new
Jer-
Jerome.
New,
Yeah.
Improved Jerome named Scott.
Yeah.
Well, specifically reducing suspicious people, I'm not sure how to characterize that necessarily, but oftentimes suspicious people are related to things like vehicle prowling, or people are vandalizing things at night.
I was more thinking like we're having like some scheduled things come through town where it's after hours on the weekends, other times like that, where we're just not consistently using that role where it's an 8 to 5 role is more where I was going with that.
He wants to see more patrols, not during the day from 8 to 5, but more spread out, maybe in the evening, weekends, that type of thing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So with the enhanced position, certainly, what you find is the 8 to 5, well, no, it's not. He works a 7 to 5 shift on those day shifts, and then so that's for 1 week, and then the next week he'll work noon until 10 o'clock. The reason behind that is so that he's hitting all those community events, activities,
Yep.
all those things kind of been identified as being important. But that's just what he does.
Yep.
Everybody else in the unit is there. And I would suggest that outside of Cross Iron Mills, which is specifically during the daytime most often, this is likely the area that we spend the majority of our time, whether it's during the day or during the week. So as far as changing the way that we schedule, is that something that you're looking for, or?
I was just looking for more detail on that, essentially.
Or maybe what we can do is get an email from CEO Kinza, maybe letting council know what that looks like so that we're aware of what those shifts are.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Steven.
I speak Mike.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Anything else? Just a couple of things for me. Under priority 1, I was curious if we could also put in there visible presence in neighborhoods and industrial areas, specifically during high crime times.
Basically just increased visibility in residential and industrial areas during high crime time.
Right. And then just on, I think community engagement is great. I think the school visits are really, really good. I'm unsure how much value we get on some of the other community visits. I don't mind, stopping by the Golden Key Club maybe once a month or something, but I think every week, I'm not sure how big of a value that is. So maybe adjusting some of that.
Okay.
And sometimes I think this is hard to hear, but I think it's a perception in the community when we see, not only, RCMP, but our municipal enforcement parked at the fire hall together a lot. And they could be doing their paperwork, and that is great and fine, but it's just about community perception. When people see everyone kind of there, they just assume that they're just hanging out.
Okay.
So maybe just coordinate with Kinza or CEO Barney and see if we can coordinate that a little bit better.
Are you specifically looking to see that when the enhanced member is there, that the CPO is not there?
I think not at all times, but it shouldn't happen so commonly that people are raising an eyebrow.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I would point out, of course, though, that when the work that's being done in the schools and those other places is not happening, there's, and of course, the traffic enforcement, all those things, that is where they need to be, and I can't really speak for the CPO, but for our people, in order to actually conduct business that we need to conduct, that's sort of where it happened. The fact that we have access to the fire hall, rather than having to come back to Airdrie, means that we do have that presence in a community that's readily accessible kind of all the time. And I would also say that having them there, at centrally located point where people know that they can find them, actually works really well, because they coming up, knock on the door, and not sure if they knock on the door, but hail at the door and are able to speak to a police officer in a more comfortable fashion than calling and speaking to somebody in Red Deer and being dispatched, etc. Which is another thing that we've had over the many years that I've been doing this. That's the complaint. Well, I wanted to talk to somebody, but there's nobody there, so I had to talk to somebody in Red Deer,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So we get that perception all the time.
Yeah.
We understand it. And I'm sure that we can massage that a little bit, but in many ways, it's the nature of the beast. It's just so much that needs to be done sitting at
Well, and I think that's the truth. And I know the office is there. I'm just trying to, help you mitigate some perception.
Gotcha.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Anything else from council? Okay. Well, thanks for the presentation. And we don't know when you're leaving, but good luck in case I don't see you.
Thank you.
And I'll try not to speed through Camera.
Fair enough. Thanks very much. That's been great.
Thanks.
Hey, if I can get a motion, please.
The chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll motion that the RCMP Q4 report be accepted as for information.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
That was a big group coming in there.
Yeah. Okay, item 5.1, noise bylaw. Director Lindsay Nash.
Good evening, council. As you're aware, administration is slowly reviewing our town bylaws policies, and the noise bylaw has been on council's radar for the last couple months. Specifically updating it with respect to snow and street cleaning in commercial districts within nearby residential districts. So we have researched with other municipalities their noise bylaws to review how they dealt with snow and street cleaning in commercial areas within nearby residential districts. And we have added some additional provisions within our current bylaw to enhance that. We reviewed City of Airdrie's, Town of Didsbury's, Town of Carstairs, Town of Olds. And we have added 2 sections, one under section 5, construction noises. And it notes that the provision of subsection 5.1 does not apply to any work carried out by the town or by a contractor carrying out the instructions of the town. And then the other addition we added was exemptions and exceptions. Under 7.2, that the provisions of this bylaw do not apply to town vehicles, equipment used to clear snow, ice, sweep, wash, and or remove debris from town roadways, highways, boulevards, or town premises. Administration believes that these additions will assist the town with meeting the required service levels for snow removal while acknowledging the close proximity to residential districts. So administration is asking that council give all 3 readings to the noise bylaw 2024-02 tonight.
Thank you. Questions for Director Nash?
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was
Through
pretty
chair.
Councillor Bank.
straightforward.
When it comes to the how we're getting the exemption there, what about the private contractors that do some of the other businesses that are close to Main Street? Would that cover them as well, or?
No, that is specifically just for the town. That is something that we could look into, if that's something council wants to look at. Yeah, that's something that some council could be looked into because it is up to the individual businesses to be responsible for clearing the street or the sidewalks in front of their business.
I guess I would question, like, would it matter whether it's town equipment or a contractor doing the same thing?
They're all working for the same people at the end of the day.
Doesn't matter? No.
I can add a clause that specifically talks about contractors, so that it is clear that people, so residents know that it's noted in there.
How does council feel about that addition?
I think it's good because the way our town is situated right now, it's hard for, I mean, residences are very close to commercial areas in some places. And I think probably the people would rather have the snow cleared than worry about an extra 15 minutes or half an hour's sleep.
Would you be okay if we gave the readings with that addition?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, yeah. All right. Any other questions for Director Nash? Any other discussion?
No, it's pretty
All
straightforward.
right, then let's get some motions.
Through the chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that bylaw 2024-02, being the noise bylaw, be given first reading as amended.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That's motion carried. Next motion,
Through the chair,
go ahead.
I move that bylaw 2024-02 being the noise bylaw be given second reading as amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Third reading,
Through the chair, I'll make the motion that bylaw 2024-02, being the noise bylaw, being brought forward for third and with unanimous consent with addition.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And final motion. For third and final reading.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Move that bylaw 2024-02 being the noise bylaw be given a third and final reading as amended.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And that one's passed. Thank you. Okay, Mayor and Councilors business. I attended FCM. Went to some sessions, did a lot of networking. Found out about infrastructure funding and a new way of doing wastewater naturally. I also tried to talk Neuron Scooters into coming to Crossfield, so we'll keep the pressure on them. Right? I also have had some online mid-sized mayors meetings in preparation for our meeting with Premier Smith. Thursday night, I attended a female elected officials meeting with fireside chat with Minister Schultz. We talked about water, wastewater, environmental issues, those type of things. And I continue to go to my weekly meetings with the CAO. Deputy Mayor Knight.
I as well attended FCM, which I found quite valuable. I think what the mayor talked right there about networking, a lot of the sessions they had were built towards larger municipalities, but I do find talking to similar areas, we're all in the same wastewater, same even water, like the issue that happened recently in Calgary, we're all in the same towns and we'll all be squeezed at the bottom. So the more us small municipalities talk together, the better it is. So it was really good. I got a meeting tomorrow for our Mountain View Regional Water meeting tomorrow. So I'll be an update after that.
Sounds good. Counselor Brennan.
I attended Joel Holstein's 40th or 40-year retirement. 40? It was
Oh, 40,
years.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
there too.
it was good. That was a lot of valuable years of service. Can't thank him enough. And then on top of that, can't really put it much better than Mike, but yeah, I attended FCM and also found that the sessions were more geared towards the larger municipalities, unfortunately. But the people that were there, same issues, different ways of dealing with them, kind of not. Much better networking. Alrighty, that's it for me.
Okay, great. Counselor Fox.
I attended Pete Night Days on June 7th and 8th, and it was nice to see all the community groups come together again for the 2-day event. I would like to thank Mayor Harris for giving the greeting from the town of Crossfield on the opening ceremonies. And I also attended Joe Holstein's retirement dinner on June 10th. And I'm just going to throw in there too that we should all be proud because we did have a local competitor who took home the novice bronc riding. He took that home. He also won the Calgary Stampedes buckle in that division. And he went on to also win both of the buckles in Water Valley on the Sunday.
What was his name?
Austin Simpson.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Thank you. Counselor Gustafson.
Nothing further to report because our Rocky View Foundation isn't until the 26th, though.
Counselor Lambert.
I represented the town council in the Pete Night Parade. Thanks to Donna and Brian for the sweet ride. Also attended the ribbon cutting for the new PharmaSave. Wonderful people. I wish them all the best. Worked, volunteered for shift out at the rodeo grounds. Another wonderful rodeo put on by our rodeo society. Even though they could have managed the weather a bit better, almost froze to death. And of course, attended Joe Holstein's 40th farewell dinner. And again, to reiterate, Councillor Brennan, thank you, Joe, for your years of service.
Excellent. Thank you. Counselor Vang.
I attended FCM as well and had the opportunity to listen to the Prime Minister tell us how we're getting all this great infrastructure money. As well, the other beneficial networking that went along with the FCM. I also attended Joe's 40-year service retirement party at the fire home. That's all I have to report.
Thank you. Excellent. So thanks, Joe, Counselor Lambert, for taking one for the team and representing council at the parade. And also thank you for stopping by the grand opening for the PharmaSave. That
It was
great.
fun. I got to use the big scissors.
Yeah. And, also a big congratulations to Joe. It was a really nice farewell to him and a nice supper made. There were some tears and lots of hugs because, Joe, he's a huggy guy, but it was really good. And Joe, I'm always happy to come to the rodeo and do an opening for you. More than a few minutes. Yeah, that's right. All right. If we can get a motion to accept the reports.
Through the chair,
Go ahead.
a motion that the council reports be accepted as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 7.1, outstanding items list.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. So a couple of items that we can request for formal removal from the outstanding items list. The noise bylaw, which is item 027, was approved by council this evening. The Rocky View School Division ward redesign, item 032, which represents a letter identifying council's concerns as it relates to the ward boundary review, has been provided this evening for the mayor's signature and will be forwarded on, so that as well can be marked as complete. And item 033, which is safety code inspection contract, has been awarded to the new contractor, and we are going through that transition phase as we speak, with them formally being a service provider effective July 2nd. So again, that is another item that can be removed from the list. I'd also like to formally request that item 004, 006, 007, and 013 be moved to Q3 due date. I know we talked about this at the last council meeting, but I just want to update the list to reflect that. And that's all the changes that I would like to request to the outstanding items list.
Okay, great. Any questions for CEO Kinza? Bernie?
Well, through the chair. Kins, I do have a question actually about our 013 for the Railway Street decorative lighting. If we're making any leeway on that now that the weather's warmer, and now that we don't have Scott from PE, do we have another rep from PE?
Thank you, Councillor Fox. Yes, absolutely. We do have another rep, and that is one that rests on our end. It's been a capacity challenge. They have reached out to us, and we do have the name of the representative from their end. And we are working to make connection with them to identify a solution that can come back to council. But it's a timing piece on our end as to why that has not yet happened.
I was just curious. Last time it was too cold. Now there's no excuse.
Okay, any other questions?
You're the chair.
Go ahead.
Can we circulate a soft copy of that letter that you just signed
The letter, yes.
to the council, all of council?
Yeah.
Before it gets sent?
Yeah, sure.
I was just thinking it's because it's from all of council, right?
Yeah, but yes,
Yes.
you can maybe email. Yeah.
Motion, Mayor.
Hang on. Yeah, item 7.1, a motion, please.
Through the chair, I'll make the motion that item 027, 032, 033 in the outstanding items list be removed. And sorry, Kinza, and your request for 004, 006, 007 be moved. And 013 for the dates to be adjusted.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
A motion carried. Okay, there's no correspondence. And upcoming events and programs are on the Town of Crossfield website. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Your chair,
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you.